So today at Midwest Outdoors, we're going to be breaking down a doe that I shot about a week ago. It's been cooler aging in the Pelican at about 34, 38 degrees in scent-free black garbage bags on ice with the drain plug open so any water is going to run out. Now the very first thing that you need when you're breaking down a deer is a good quality knife. Now this is the Benchmade 7-inch meat crafter. This is going to make quick work of this job. So let's get started. Very first step is we are going to take off the shank. So we are just going to follow the line, find the knuckle right here. Now breaking down a deer is not that hard. Just gotta follow the lines. You know, it's gonna tell you where to cut. You just gotta look for it. There we go, we got one shank right there. Now we're going to take off the shoulder and the top, bottom, and middle round. Now there's two things you want to look out for when you are cutting up your shoulders is any big fatty deposits. You want to remove those. The fat doesn't do well in the freezer and it doesn't taste very well on a deer. Pork, beef, you know, you want that, but not necessarily from venison. The other thing that you want to look for too is inside those fat pockets on both the front and the back quarters, there is a gland and you really want to make sure you don't run your knife through it. It's okay if you do, just go wash everything off and get back after it. But you don't want to spread that, you know, the stuff from that gland onto the meat because it's going to impart a really nasty taste. So be careful that you don't cut through that. But if you do, again, wash everything down and then get back to work. Now we're going to use our knife and we're just going to follow the lines. Find that femur and cut right around it. Okay, so there's our femur. We'll clean up a little bit off of that a little bit later. There's a little bit of meat left on that for that we can put into the grind. Now here we've got our top, middle, and bottom round. And as you open up that big chunk, you see that fatty deposit? That's where that gland is. We want to make sure we don't cut through that. We're going to cut around it and remove it. See that fatty deposit all lives right in there. We'll discard that. We got one roast, we'll clean off that fat. Another roast right there. Trim that out a little bit. We'll throw that into the grind. So now we got their basic cuts off of the top of the rear, and for the bottom, we can either, you can pull a small roast off of this one, or you can cut it into long kind of steaks. On this direction, it's called osso busso, I believe. Really good braising steak. But I think I'm just going to cut this one down like that. We'll make a roast out of that, and then I'm going to trim the rest off of this. There's a lot of silver skin, connective tissue in here, but if you're going to grind it, you want to try to remove as much of that silver skin as possible. If you're going to put it into burgers or whatnot, that silver skin, even if you mix it with some beef fat, won't allow the patties to stick together as well as you'd like. So now I'm just going to flay it off the silver skin as much as I can. You'll notice I'm using the entire edge of the knife, not just the tip. If you want your knives to last longer, you got to use the entire edge. A lot of people just want to get in there, work just the tip of the knife into it. If you use the entire edge, you're going to get more life and more performance out of your knife. And I'll tell you what, this meat crafter from Benchmade really makes this job simple. Now I'm not one to waste meat, so I'm cleaning up as much as I can off of these joints and shank. Put in a little bit of effort, you can get another bag of venison sticks out of this. You got a good sharp knife, you can fillet that meat off the silver skin just like you're filleting a fish. All right, so I'm gonna cut those into some steaks, maybe a couple small roasts here. We're gonna have a good time. Now, a lot of people like to just grind the front shoulder in its entirety, but you know what? There is actually a couple really cool cuts out of here, but you just got to take the time to do it. So we're going to start off again by removing the front shank. You just cut down and find the joint. I'm going to trim a little bit of this fat off of here. I'll come in here, take this little section out. There's your front chuck. There's that other gland right there. See this big fatty pocket right on the inside of the leg. So we're gonna cut around that. Make sure we don't cut through it and contaminate our meat. Okay, so I've trimmed this up a little bit, and now I'm gonna show you one of my two favorite cuts that not a lot of people utilize. It's either the flat iron steak, or for this one, I'm actually going to do a bone-in blade roast. So first of all, we're gonna take that knuckle off, which will provide us with a little bit more meat for the grinder. Find it, so that one pops right off. Okay, so now I'm just gonna trim this edge a little bit. And now I am going to take actually the reciprocating saw, and I'm going to run a line right here. And I'm using the reciprocating saw because I don't have a bone saw, but this is a bespoke blade for this, so no cross contamination here. I did clean up the tool before the whole process. There you go. We'll clean that off a little bit, but there is your bone-in blade roast. Now for the other shoulder, we're again going to remove the shank, and we're going to trim that down later for either the grind or for ossobuco. Okay, so for our flat iron steak, we're going to feel the ridge line of the bone right here. We're going to cut straight down into it until we hit the bone. Follow that ridge line all the way down. Okay. Now we're going to open it up, and we're going to slice it off this shoulder blade. Work your knife around, let it do the work. We're going to cut as close to that shoulder blade as possible. So there you go, there's your flat iron steak, but it's not just one, there's actually two of them in here. If you look right here, there's a line of silver skin right here. So we're gonna take our knife, we're gonna run it on that line and separate these two. Now, fillet that side, get that silver skin out of there, and take it off of, clean the ends. So there we go, we got our blade roast, we got our flat iron roast, we got a bunch of different roasts. A couple of these I'm going to cut down into steaks, big pile for the grind, and we got all this waste. But you know what, that's not even going to go to waste, because I'm going to clean out some of the fat, you know, the bigger chunks of fat. I'm actually going to use this and make some stock with it. And all of this was done really fast, really easy with the Benchmade Meat Crafter 7-inch knife. Hey, hope this helps you out. I'm Dennis Leppell. Happy hunting. Midwest Outdoors will be right back.